Crude oil in Nigeria, a blessing or a curse? One of the fallouts of the crisis in Eastern Europe has been the skyrocketing price of crude and other energy products. And Nigeria being a nation that depends heavily on the exportation of crude for its export earnings, you would want to assume that we are living in abundance now. But that isn't the case. So now that's the big why. There are three reasons behind that. Number one, we just don't produce enough. We don't produce enough crude oil as compared to our installed capacity. We don't even produce as much as OPEC permits. And some of the reasons for the shortfall in our production has to do with factors like, the inadequacy of investment or the poor state of our oil infrastructure, or even the very common thing you see on your newspapers about oil pipeline vandalism and also oil theft. They all affect oil output in Nigeria. And so it's like, oil prices are up here, but production is down here, which is a big problem. So we can't leverage those prices efficiently. Now, the second problem has to do with the fact that we still import refined products of crude. You look into your households, your automobiles, you realize you use things like the petrol, you use things like the diesel, you use your cooking gas, and these are all refined products of crude oil. But unfortunately, the refineries in Nigeria are, I would say, in a laughable state. Hence, we tend to import most of these refined products for our use. So it's like on one hand, you are exporting crude oil, but on the other hand, you are also importing the refined products of crude. So you can see how that is a problem. Now, to the third issue that I would want to address, subsidies. So when the government imports these refined products, they don't just sell to you and me. They sell to us at a subsidized price. So what that means is for PMS, which is the most imported of all refined products, we have a subsidy on consumption. So that has been one of the things that has been affecting the performance of our oil revenue here in Nigeria and preventing us from leveraging the currently elevated prices in the international oil markets. So I haven't stated the problems. What are the possible solutions? So we have some suggestions. Tackling the problem of, I would say, our shortfall in output, we have to ensure we take measures to attract investment into the oil space so as to help revamp the poor state of our infrastructure. And we also have to do something about the oil theft and vandalism by, firming up on the security situation, because, no one will want to invest in your oil space if they think their pipelines will get vandalized. So speaking to the issue of, I would say, depending so much on imported refined products, we need to turn back inwards and look at what we can do with regards to our local refineries, how we can get them functional again. And perhaps, privatization is something we might want to consider in that regard. Then for the third key problem we mentioned, which is subsidies, of course, the solution proposed has always been contentious, to remove or not to remove. But I think what we should be speaking about is not that, but more regarding how it is to be removed, not whether or not it should be removed. And the reason why you would want to look at that is, it's critical to ensure that while removing subsidies, the proceeds from subsidies don't just fall into another sinkhole, but rather go into other critical sectors of the economy, like, say, infrastructure. And also, the removal shouldn't be so sudden that it places an hardship on people. So perhaps a gradual process will want to be embraced. And I believe those are the, I would say, suggestions that we might want to look into in tackling some of these problems. So putting crude oil aside, what are the other commodities in Nigeria that we can effectively leverage to generate revenues? Well, you'll find out in the next episode.